Welcome into the CHGO Blackhawks postgame podcast presented by our friends at Sunnyside. On this Sunnyside Thursday, visit sunnyside.shop for bright buys every day, including 50% off your first 3 online purchases. Enter promo code HICHGO at checkout to qualify. Exclusions apply. Sunnyside Cannabis Dispensary. Bright buys every day only for 21 plus or Illinois MedCard holders. I'm Jay Zawaski with Greg Boysen. We've got Nate. We've got Sarah running the show tonight. Mario will join us in about a half hour from the United Center, but the Hawks pick up their first home win in their first home game, a 4-2 win over the San Jose Sharks. The Hawks got goals from Taylor Hall, Tyler Bertuzzi, Nick Foligno, and Jason Dickinson. So as we've been discussing most of this week, the secondary scoring, the depth scoring comes through and provides all the highlights in this one.
Yeah, I mean, it's a beautiful, beautiful thing. We talked a lot after the Calgary game that it can't always be Connor Bedard. And yes, Connor Bedard had 2 real nice assists on the power play, but it was Taylor Hall getting it going and Tyler Bertuzzi getting his first goal as a Blackhawk, and then Jason Dickinson adding that late goal that turned out to be a nice insurance goal. So nice to see a team effort.
Yeah.
It was just a great night at the United Center. It started off with the red carpet ceremony. There was a buzz in the building.
Yeah, definitely.
Loud anthem, cool new pregame stuff, and it just carried over an early goal. And then they just, the Sharks got West Side Story on the brain. The Sharks just couldn't stop going to the penalty box, and the Hawks took advantage of it. Do the Hawks have a good power play?
I think the Hawks might have a good power play, and it's not just this game where it's looked pretty good.
It's five power play goals in the last 3 games.
I mean, you've got
too shabby.
It's amazing what happens when it's not just Connor Bedard having to do everything, and he was named the number 1 star of the night. We're going to get you the 3 stars, and then your votes for 4 stars come up here in a second. But Bedard was named the number 1 star of the game. He had 2 assists, and he played really, really well. But lots of guys in that power play looked good. Seth Jones looked good. Even like Taylor Hall looked good on the second power play unit. Things were just sort of clicking. And that's, when Kyle Davidson comes in and adds veteran depth and Teuvo Teravainen, Tyler Bertuzzi, and then to a lesser extent, Craig Smith and Pat Maroon. And then look, TJ Brody had a brilliant pass to Taylor Hall in that first goal, like from the goal line, basically to center ice, through traffic on a dime on the tape to Taylor Hall, who was in full stride. That was a beautiful pass. So nice play for Brody. I mean, all around a really, really solid effort. I'm not ready to call it a 60-minute effort. We'll get to that a little bit in the second half of the show. But for now, we're going to stay positive because it was overall a very, very positive night. So here are your 3 stars of the game. Connor Bedard, your number 1 star, 2 assists, 3 shots, 8 shot attempts. Teuvo Teravainen with a pair of assists, a shot, and 5 shot attempts. Nick Foligno with a goal, 4 shots, and 6 shot attempts. So here are your 4-star nominees. Vote for those on our YouTube page right now. Seth Jones with 5 shots on goal, 8 shot attempts, and 25:44 of ice time. Tyler Bertuzzi with a goal, a shot, and 5 shot attempts. Taylor Hall with a goal and 3 shot attempts as well. Let's start with Bertuzzi because it's a guy that we've been kind of hard on since really the regular season began. Tonight's Tyler Bertuzzi is a Tyler Bertuzzi you're paying for. A guy who is tough on the puck, tough in the corners, a pain in the ass in front, getting chances, causing havoc. He had a quintessential Tyler Bertuzzi game tonight.
Yeah, that's what as you just said. It's what you paid for. You saw it early, those first couple shifts. He was drop something. He was breaking up passes. He was, very active stick in the defensive zone. Seemed that he was skating with more of a purpose in the past. There was a lot of, I don't want to call it floating, but just kind of like just out there, looking where to be. Where tonight, like he knew where to be,
like
and
trying to find his way almost.
Yeah, and looked confident tonight, and that goal was a really nice play. Just got in between 2 defenders in front of the net, Tavo saw him, made the pass, and he just put his stick down and deflected it into the net. Easy power play goal. Well, not easy. I mean, it takes a lot of talent for that to happen. But you could tell when he scored that he was like, "All right, let's do this." And if you read his whole stat line, it's not great, but he did have 5. It doesn't like jump off the page like, "Oh my God, he had a dominant game," but 5 shot attempts, just more active. He did a lot of things that don't show up on your standard score sheet. That's what you're paying.
Yeah,
for.
like there's he draws a high sticking penalty. There was a play where nothing really came of it, but there was a puck about to leave the zone, and Bertuzzi fought as hard as he could to tie up the Sharks player stick to prevent it from going out. You're not gonna Tyler Bertuzzi isn't gonna have a game like Bedard where you're like, oh my God, he's flying and he's deking through people. But at the end of the day, you're looking at a point or two, several shots on goal, maybe a penalty drawn, maybe a penalty taken. He's pissed somebody off. He's bleeding a little bit. Like that's the Tyler Bertuzzi game that the Hawks wanted when they signed him, and it was good to see it here tonight. Let's just hope that this continues. I think for him and for Taylor Hall and even for Jason Dickinson, who went 4 games without a goal, to kind of get that monkey off the back and say, all right, first one's in the back of the net. Now we can sort of continue the season. Don't have to worry about it. Don't have to think about got to get that goal. Just play your game. I'm happy to see it. Very, very pleased with the depth scoring tonight. And it's so funny. It seems like this happens a lot where we'll talk about something. I wrote about it for Blackhawks Beat. It was a big part of yesterday's show. It was a big part of your pregame notes. It's needed. And if this team is going to be a team that remains in a hunt until Christmas, New Year's, Thanksgiving, whatever you want to say, they're going to need more than just Bedard, Foligno, and Tirabassi to carry the load here.
For sure. And, get that first goal of the game by Taylor Hall. That had to feel good for him. That's his first goals in the NHL since November 5th of last year. So almost a full calendar year in between goals for Taylor Hall. And as he said in training camp, it's going to take a game or two just to get take a couple bumps, get a hit, then you feel comfortable. So he's definitely been feeling comfortable out there, but I think mentally netting a goal, going, okay, that's right, I remember how to do this. I know how to do this. Let's go. And he was very active tonight too. Had an extra jump in his step. And yes, it was the San Jose Sharks, the worst team in the league without their best player.
Without a lot of their good players too, by the way.
But you need to beat down a team like that.
Yeah.
If you would have lost this game, this whole chat would have been fire Luke Richardson, fire Kyle Davidson. But no, you don't. You only can play the teams that are on your schedule, but you need to beat a team like the Sharks. They jumped on them early, and it got a little closer. The score is not as close as the game should have been. But you got to beat a team like the Sharks, and they did a good job. And I tweeted out during the second period, I'm like, the Blackhawks probably feel right now like every team that played against the Blackhawks did last season, because this is exactly what the Hawks were when they didn't have Connor Bedard last year. That's what the Sharks are, and they took advantage of it. Yeah,
100%. Hey, thanks for being here. We appreciate it. Lots of people watching. We got to get those likes to match those views. So please do us a favor. Let's do a like spike right now. In 3, 2, 1. If you're watching us on YouTube, please hit that like button and then hover over and hit that subscribe button. It takes you 2 seconds, and it helps us out big time. So please, please, please do that for us. If you're listening to the podcast, we like you too. We actually love you. Do us a favor. Follow, subscribe on your favorite podcast app. And if you got a few seconds, leave us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts or Spotify. That would go a really, really long way. We're going to get to your super chats on the other side of the next break. Like I said earlier, Mario Tirabassi is going to join us from the United Center after we hear from Luke Richardson and other Blackhawks. So make sure you stick around for that. And look, if you're someone that goes to Hawks games, get in the habit of when you leave the arena, put us on in your car. Hook up to the Bluetooth and go to the YouTube page and listen to us on the way home. And you can interact with us in a chat at Red Lights. And just a reminder that Washington is a one-way street.
It is.
Oh, Jesus
going
Lord.
east.
East, yes.
You cannot go west on Washington out of Lot C.
Several people didn't know that today.
Or they just didn't care.
Yeah. Watch yourself. But anyway, definitely a good night tonight. And it's good to see that like the Hawks have sort of risen beyond that point of being the complete bottom feeder in the league. Look, the first period in Utah was bad. The next two are pretty good. You almost have Winnipeg beat and you fall apart and lose it at the end. You're a shot away from, beating tying Calgary, and they score on the empty net. Like, they're right there. And as this team kind of gets to know each other better, both on and off the ice, start to learn each other's instincts, those sort of things, it's going to start to look better and better. And it's been encouraging. I think the start to the season through 5 games, look, I'm not predicting playoffs or anything like that, but what we predicted coming into this year was much more watchable, much more competitive. They're going to be a difficult team to beat night after night after night. I think through 5, that seems to be backing up what we were thinking.
Absolutely. If you get this power play humming, you're going to be in a lot of games. You're going to score a lot of goals, and that helps. And the PK has been pretty good this year. So the special teams, when you have a special teams units that actually have NHL talent on it, it helps, and it's a good start. You've got 5 points in 5 games.
Yep.
That's an 82-point pace. That's not good enough to make the playoffs.
It's kind of exactly what we all predicted.
It's not good enough to make the playoffs,
right.
But that's a 30-point improvement from last season.
Yes.
If they stay on this pace. That's huge. That is a huge improvement. And you got the Buffalo Sabres coming into town, and they are not playing good hockey right now. They lost 6-4 to the Ass Jackets tonight.
Yes.
That's a team I picked to make the playoffs, and they are making me look stupid. Long way to go.
At some point.
Let's hope they start playing better after Saturday, but that's another team that they're going to get in here, get on them early, get them down early, and get another victory. You win Saturday night, I mean, this team's got momentum going. Losing is contagious. We've seen that the last couple of years.
100%.
Winning is just as contagious.
Yeah, and I think, just the vibes like in the press box tonight, and we're all, at the game, we behave, we're objective, we're not cheering or anything like that, but like everyone was in a good mood up there. Everyone's talking, no one's like, oh, I gotta cover another Hawks game.
Well, it's the first game of the year.
Well, I know, but there was like
checking that in
even there was a buzz in the crowd. There was more of an excitement, like as the Hawks were being introduced. Alex Vlasic is getting a big pop. Philip Kurashev is getting a big pop. Fans are starting to learn this team, and we're walking around for the red carpet thing. Saw a Vlasic jersey. I saw a Teravainen Fanatics jersey. So a new one. Like, there's all sorts of. It's not just Bedard out there anymore. Like, people are starting to find their guys on this team, and are starting to really buy in on this team because I think they see. Look, you got Connor Bedard. They're excited about the prospects coming up, and now the team's playing better. It's a really good situation for the Hawks to be in. And again, I don't think anyone has any delusions that it's a playoff team or a contender by any means. But what we want to see this year was the arrow pointed up. We want to see the important young players getting better. Check. We want to see the veterans making the team more competitive. Check. That's what we want. That's what we want to see. And so far, so good. Through 5 games. We have a lot more to come. We're going to get to your super chats coming up here in a moment. And a little bit about Lukas Reichel, who made his season debut, coming up next right here on the CHGO Blackhawks Podcast.
And I'd like to tell you about our new friends and partners over at HelloFresh. HelloFresh. With HelloFresh, you get farm fresh, pre-portioned ingredients and seasonal recipes delivered right to your doorstep. Skip trips to the grocery stores and count on HelloFresh to make home cooking easy, fun, and affordable. That's why it's America's #1 meal kit. Make this fall the tastiest season yet with farm fresh produce and easy autumn-inspired recipes delivered right to your door with HelloFresh. HelloFresh has tons of options for whatever you're craving. Choose from a changing menu of over 50 recipes each week. Plus, take your pick from over 100 market add-on items like desserts, breakfast, and snacks. Those are 3 of my favorite things in the entire world. From hearty dinners to game day snacks, HelloFresh has a variety of recipes and flavors to perfectly accompany weather.
Yeah, baby.
We're looking at you, pumpkin spice. Get 10 free meals at HelloFresh.com/free Blackhawks. Applied across 7 boxes. New subscribers only. Varies by plan. That's 10 free HelloFresh meals just by going to HelloFresh.com/free Blackhawks.
Do that and then wash down your delicious HelloFresh meal with an icy cold Coors Light. The perfect beverage for when it's time to choose chill. And I can just imagine people leaving Lot C right now, going all different directions on one-way streets. They kind of want to get out of the car and scream and yell.
They chilled a little too much tonight.
Don't do that. Get home, choose chill, crack open a Coors Light. Road rage is never the answer. Get yourself some mountain cold refreshment. You know when those mountains turn blue, that your Coors Light is as cold as the Rockies. Oh, it's so good. It is so refreshing. And when you want to embrace a chill mindset, it's the perfect time to choose chill and crack open a Coors Light. Make the most out of the times you choose to chill. Man, we're getting after it tonight. Choose Coors Light. Get Coors Light delivered straight to your door with Instacart by going to CoorsLight.com/CHGO Hockey. Celebrate responsibly. Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado. All right, let's rifle through some of these super chats. We thank you for those. And as a reminder, if you're just joining us, please do us a favor and smash that like button for us. First one, a $5 super chat from Max says, fellas, tough road trip was pretty harsh on the legs for the boys, but a dub's a dub. Oh, also, Bedard is going to break the league. Have a good show, fellas.
All right.
Thank you for that, Max. We've got another one from our go ahead, sorry.
No, I'm just saying thank you, Max.
Thanks, Max. From our buddy Broggy, says, security didn't let me bring in my, quote, sharks bout to give us that Hawk 2 sign I made. At least at the red carpet, Mrazek laughed at it. All right.
It's creative.
I like it. Bone Crusher 54, not 53, 54, says there's no better way to celebrate my birthday than to witness a Hawks win. Also got to meet Mario at the UC. Thank you, CHGO, for your awesome coverage and engagement with fans. Right. Thank you, Bone Crusher.
Happy birthday, Bone Crusher.
Yeah, and happy birthday. Crush some bones to celebrate.
You are better than the 53 Bone Crushers that came before.
Yeah, definitely the best of all the Bone Crushers. Deadhawk, $2 says we have guys who fill real NHL holes.
Rolls.
Oh, yeah, rolls.
There, Panger.
80 plus points. All right, Deadhawk. And then Jason with $5 said, sorry, had to watch the game muted. Was too busy calling Comcast for CHSN. Yeah.
Somebody's got to do it.
Well, apparently.
That was a very unfortunate tweet. That went over like a fart in church.
This is going great. Yeah, this rollout has been spectacular.
Can you guys please negotiate for us because we're really bad at it?
They're being mean to us. You guys got to call them and tell them. No, not really. That's your job. I don't want to get into that tonight. I really don't. I know it's on people's minds, but I'm
just get it done.
Just give me a night off. We'll get to it next week at some point. Figure it out. Please figure it out. All right. So Lucas Reichel draws back into the lineup tonight, and I'm already seeing a lot of grand declarations one way or the other about Reichel in the chat. Here's what we had from Lucas tonight. He was a -1, 8:31 of ice time, a shot on goal, another shot attempt, credited with a hit, 1-1, and lost 3 faceoffs again, 8:31 of ice time. I'm not deciding anything about Lucas Reichel based on this game because the Hawks spent so much time on the power play.
Yeah.
And look, I'm glad he's back in. I'm glad the game will look. But Pat Maroon and Craig Smith, that is not going to help Lucas Reichel find what he needs to find. What I did see from him was speed. When he got the opportunity, putting a puck on net, won a couple pucks and board battles, engaged in pucks and board battles. I'm not ready to say he's back. I'm not ready to say he's going to be the guy we saw at the end of the year 2 years ago. But I didn't see anything in this game that says, oh, he needs to come out. He needs to sit next game. He didn't do anything to earn a spot. I think you had to give him a couple in a row here and see what happens. And again, with Buffalo coming in, it is a team that is not doing very well, but they're solid defensively. Hawks are going to need some offense. So I think you could put him back in there and hopefully find somewhere else. I mean, even if you were going to scratch Smith or Athanasiou and give him a little bit of offensive help, I don't know. I'm glad this is not my problem to solve because I don't really know where you put him. You're not going to put him on your second line. They're finally starting to figure each other out. You're not going to break up your checking line. I think you did. I don't know. It's a very difficult spot, and Reichel is a guy who, if he's not playing an offensive role, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know either. He's got to force himself into the top 6, and right now no one's ready to come out. But as we know with hockey, things can change in the blink of an eye, and there could be a spot available. We don't, hopefully it's not because of an injury, but those things happen. We saw, Alec Martinez played the entire road trip, and then all of a sudden, nope, he's not playing. He's on IR.
Yeah.
He wasn't spectacular tonight, but you did notice his speed. He was aggressive at times, but and a lot of people asked when the lines came out this morning, oh, what's he going to do on the fourth line? He's not a fourth line player. Luke Richardson even said that he was even asked, like you said, he's not a fourth line player, but here he is on the fourth line, and you have him playing center when he's been better at the wing. And he basically said, Luke Richardson this morning after morning skate said, well, that's the only spot we have for him right now. So like we're not taking him anybody out of the top 6.
Yeah.
We don't necessarily want to play him at center, but that's the spot that's open. Take it, see what he can do an opportunity with it. I kind of get the thinking behind, if this is the thinking of putting him on that fourth line, if it's, I don't want to think it's just as simple as, well, that's the only spot that's open, put him there. I kind of think he was put there with Maroon and Smith, so he goes out there, sees who's out there with him, and go, I'm the best offensive option here. I need to shoot the puck. That's not even a joke. That's serious.
No, you're right.
Where it's like if you put him on a line with Tavo and Bedard, he's going to look to pass.
He's going to defer.
If you put him on a line with Kurashev and Hall, he's going to look to pass. Put him on a line with Patrick Maroon and Craig Smith. No offense to these guys, he's probably going to go, I'm going to shoot the puck.
Yeah. And in 8 minutes, 2 shot attempts is not
great,
awful.
It's not great, awful. But it's better than a 0.
Yeah, right.
Which we saw in the preseason.
Most of the preseason. I just, I don't know. I think we're beyond the point now where they have to treat Lucas Reichel with like, we have to do what's best for him. We have to put him in positions to succeed. They've done that. They've done that for the last 2 years, and it hasn't worked. So now it's like, look, man, if you want into the lineup, you're going to have to play where we can put you and make the best of it. And then if you make the best of it, then we can talk about putting you in a more ideal spot or giving you power play time and those sort of things.
I do hope he's still in the lineup Saturday. Like, I don't think he did anything to sit. I know you've got Ryan Donato, who probably doesn't deserve to sit a third straight game.
Yeah.
I know you've got, Athanasiou. If he's out again, that's what? That would be 4 out of 6 games.
Yep.
I mean, but it is what it is. This is a product of signing all those extra veterans, and then they're contributing. So I don't know. Maybe Maroon gets a night off. He blocked that shot.
Did block a shot
in the second period, but he did come back out and play in the third. But you never know. That could be a moment where Luke goes, okay, yeah, I know you're hurting after that. You're a veteran. It's a long season. Sit this next one out and rest up, and then you can get Donato back in there or Athanasiou. A fourth line of Athanasiou, Reichel, and Donato might not be a terrible line.
I don't hate that. I mean, you're going to really count on Dickinson and Mikheyev and
Anderson.
Anderson, thank you, to defend everything. But at home, that will be easier because you can dictate those line matchups and those sort of things. You get the last change. So I'm all for giving him another opportunity. Even if you were to put Donato back in, Donato's got a lot of experience at center.
Yeah.
Put, Maroon or Smith out there with Donato and Reichel. That's a line that can... Donato is a willing defender. Smith and Maroon are willing defenders, and you put Reichel out there. Again, it doesn't change what you're saying in the fact that Reichel is the top offensive option on that line. He's not going to defer to Ryan Donato.
No.
Right? I mean, I like your angle on that, and I think it makes some sense, and I think it probably is a little bit of what Luke is thinking. He's not going to say, like, well, he's the best offensive player in that line, so he'll be the one to shoot. I don't know. I'm at least going to give it another game or two before I declare bust or back for Lucas Reichel.
But, I mean, you talk about these are the messages we're sending him. We just need him to implement it. He can't implement it in the press box with us. He has to be given the chance to do it. And one game, 8 minutes in one game is not, a chance. So and they won. How often do you make wholesale changes after one?
No.
So he'll likely be out there. Maybe, as I said, maybe Maroon gets the night off, depending on how much that shot stung him. And you got another 3 games at home. This is, give some other guys a look if you need to. But, I think you keep him out there. Let him get 3-4 games in a row before then you reevaluate. Let him play the entire homestand. Sure. And then when you go back on the road to that game in Dallas, that's going to be a tough game. Reevaluate it there and say, hey, that was, he earns the spot. He's going to stay in, or all right, let's make a switch and back to ground zero where we go.
Yeah. The other guy who drew back in the lineup tonight was Nolan Allen. And I said to you, I think it was in the second period ago, is Nolan Allen playing in this game? And I meant that in a good way. Like, he was not noticeable at all. I think he just kind of held his own, did his thing, and had no problem. Like, look, that's a guy that's going to play. I'm looking here at the fancy stats, and he was, where's he at here? On the ice for 10 shot attempts for, 13 against. That's the Corsi, the Fenwick. He was 9-4-8 against.
But with
so positive.
Murphy, you're going to take a lot of defensive zone shifts.
Yeah, of course.
The way Jones has been playing, he's in the offensive zone, starting a lot of shifts, and Murphy and Allen got a lot of the defensive zone. So you're going to get outshot if you're going to spend 60% of your night playing defense.
So I'm looking here at the shift chart. I'm making sure I'm seeing this right. Nolan Allen had 1 offensive zone start, that 1 neutral zone start, 0 defensive zone starts, and 15 on the fly starts. Now I just wonder how many defensive zone shift starts did the Hawks have total? 2, 4, 6, 8, 9, 10, 11, only 12 defensive zone starts for the Hawks in this entire game.
When the Sharks have 16 shots on goal?
Yes.
And a lot of it was one and done, not a lot of freezes. That sounds right. That sounds right. So,
Yikes.
Decent game for Nolan Allen.
He's going to play.
With Allen and young defensemen are like NFL linemen. When you don't notice them, they're doing their job. Because you usually only notice NHL defensemen and NFL offensive linemen if they do something really good or if they do something really bad.
All right, we've got some post-game rolling in. Mario's going to join us here in a second. I know production crew. There he is. Mario needs the link. He's got it. So back with Mario live from United Center right here on the CHGO Blackhawks Podcast.
All right. Even though the the temperature is cooling off, the sun still shines. And the sun was out a lot today.
Makes a hot car hot.
Yes, it does.
Don't love it.
And I wore my Shady Rays all day long today. Shady Rays have you covered with their premium polarized shades that won't break the bank. They're our favorite independent sunglasses company that offers you a world-class product that's rated 5 stars by over 300,000 people. Their shades have durable frames and crystal clear optics, making them the perfect choice for all your outdoor adventures. They have hundreds of options to choose from, so you're bound to find the perfect pair to match your style. Plus, if your shades ever go missing or take an unexpected hit, don't sweat it. They have the most insane protection in all of eyewear. Every pair is backed by lost or broken replacements. If you don't love your shades, you can exchange for a brand new pair or return worry-free within 30 days. There's no risk when you shop. Their team always has your back with personal and fast support. And exclusively for our listeners, Shady Rays is giving out their best deal of the season. Head to ShadyRays.com. Use the promo code CHGO for 35% off your polarized sunglasses, so you could try for yourself the shades rated 5 stars by over 300,000 people.
And adventure is calling. Answer it this October by shopping new low prices during Jeep Adventure Days going on now at Ray, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and
Ram.
Stop in today. I know. Stop in today to browse their huge inventory of new vehicles. And right now, shop electric savings like 0% financing for 72 months on new 2024 Jeep Grand Cherokee 4XE and Wrangler 4XE models, or shop over 125 vehicles priced under $20,000. Damn. Let the amazing team at Ray CDJR help you during each step of your car shopping journey with Ray's Price Promise. The numbers you hear now are the same prices you can expect to shop in-store and online. That's because Ray's Price Promise means no price changing, no add-ons, and no hidden fees. Since they prioritize affordability for their customers, hurry into Ray CDJR today and shop one of the Chicago area's largest inventories. Then drive home with more money in your pocket than you'd expect. So if you're in the market for a new vehicle, then you have to check out the team at Ray, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram, because they are the only team we recommend. Visit them today on Route 12 in Fox Lake. For more info, visit Ray CDJR in Fox Lake or raycdjr.com. Serving the community since 1963.
Fun fact, Wrangler 4XE.
Yeah.
Sounds like the jeans I wear.
Fair enough. I'll take your word for it. All right, let's go out to United Center and bring in our buddy Mario Tirabassi, who is standing by from the press box. Mario, what's up?
What's up, guys? Is the 4XE mean 4 extras?
All the extras.
Give me all the
All right.
X's.
Just wanted to be clear on that.
I saw you spoke to Tyler Bertuzzi and Luke Richardson. What do you have to share with us from postgame?
Yeah, I mean, everyone was feeling good about their teammates scoring goals. Bertuzzi, Taylor Hall, Nick Foligno, Jason Dickinson, like they all got in on it. Those are guys that, this team, as Jay, you wrote about today, they need to score some goals. This is the secondary scoring group that you're hoping to add to what you expect from a guy like Connor Bedard, which we expect from a guy like Teuvo Teravainen to produce. And, the power play was going really well early on. I think this is a game where, post-game Luke Richardson and the players, like, if you really want to nitpick, you can say, yeah, we'd love to get another power play goal on one of those 5-on-3 opportunities. But as a whole, I think everyone was pretty pleased with the way that they played. And this felt like a kind of a continuation of the good things from their games, the past 4 games to start the year, kind of all coming together for the most part tonight against a team that when you get an effort like that, you expect to win against a San Jose team.
What about Reichel? Was that brought up at all? That was the last thing we were talking about before you joined. Did he have any feedback on how Lucas Reichel played?
Yeah, Luke said that he liked Reichel's game. He had one, again, nitpick criticism that, a play in the second period, he kind of skated into somebody rather than being able to, dump the puck in deep and or carry it, making a different play. But other than that, he said that, he felt like he was engaged in the game, blocked shots and was willing to go into some board battles. So, yeah, I mean, I feel like, for the limited time he did get to play, I think he was doing the little things that the coaching staff is expecting out of him and instructing him to do. And, putting him into the fourth line role, center role today with Pat Maroon and Craig Smith, like, you weren't really giving him a lot of help. But I think this is a situation where Reichel needed to demonstrate, making sure that the little things in his game, he's doing them well, so that the bigger things that they expect out of him can build off of that. So it feels like it's kind of like baby steps, and rather than throw him into playing him with Connor Bedard or anything like that, they're letting him kind of work on being more small parts of the game minded before the big things take center focus.
What did Tyler Bertuzzi have to say? He got the big power play goal there. It had to feel good for him. What did he think of his experience as his first time as a home player here at the United Center?
Yeah, he said it was good energies from the red carpet all the way through the opening of the game. He said it was great atmosphere, good energy feeding off the crowd. And yeah, getting his goal in his fifth game, as we all said, the fifth game was going to be the key for Bertuzzi as history repeats itself. But yeah, it was good. He said he felt good to personally get the first goal of the season, and his game he's been playing well. The underlying numbers say that he's been playing well, but being able to do that while also being able to contribute and put up some points, make some plays. That's what he's here for. And I think that's a good step in the right direction for him. And yeah, it's like I said, like it was kind of like a, just kind of not a relief, but more of just like a satisfied feeling that like they played solid, they played structured, and they did it against a team that they came in and should have won this game and played well enough to earn that, and not really have a game where you're hanging on for dear life. Like I know that they were kind of like a little bit weathering the storm towards the end of the third period, but for the most part they were able to do that, to weather it without any significant tight moments. Like they were able to handle it and close out the game.
Yeah, that was the next thing I was going to ask you, because I didn't want to be that guy after a good night on Twitter, but like basically after that first 5-on-3 the Hawks had, it gets killed off. It was a good power play, just didn't score. But then the Sharks, get back on the board, and then I don't know. I didn't love the way they closed the game out. It did feel like they were sort of coasting to the end, and then towards the second half of the third period, like the Sharks were kind of taking it to them. And I know that happens in a lot of games where teams are down big, they got to take over. But the Sharks outshot the Hawks 11-4 in the third period. And look, yes, they should beat a team like San Jose. They also are a good enough roster to not allow a team like San Jose, as banged up as they are and as bad as they are, even when they're healthy, to have an 11-4 shot period. I know I'm nitpicking, but like as expectations raise this season, and as the team has said all along, like moral victories aren't actual victories matter, and they got one tonight, but I would have liked to see them close out the game a little bit stronger. It was definitely, and maybe part of it was fatigue from the road trip, or just fatigue from a busy day of a lot of non-hockey stuff to worry about. But I just did not love the end of the second and the third period tonight. I just think they kind of took the foot off the gas and are not good enough to do that unless they're playing unless they're playing this specific team. 30 other NHL teams are going to kick their ass if it happens that way.
Yeah, I think from what Luke Richardson said, like he was pleased with the complete effort in the game tonight. He said he enjoyed the way that they played in the second period. They were able to hold the Sharks in their own zone for long stretches of time. Third period, yeah. I mean, would you like to not have a goal less than a minute after Jason Dickinson scores the 4-1 goal? Of course, but I think they were able to still do what they needed to come out with a win, and I think, yeah, a team that is maybe at a higher level than the Blackhawks is able to go out and score a fifth goal without it being an empty netter, and completely regain control of the game from there. But I think with the situation that they were in, with the way that they handled things, you play the final 3.5 minutes of the game, 6-on-5. Peyton Mrazek makes a couple good saves. They don't really give up too many like grade A scoring chances to allow the Sharks to get in, and they hold on for the win. I mean, I agree. With the expectations rising, you want to be able to be a team that can shut the door completely on a team like the Sharks. But 5 games into this season, they've relatively been in every game. You could argue that they've been the better team in more than just their 2 wins. So it's good. It's a good start. It's you take a 4-2 win anytime you can get it. So I'm not going to say that they played poorly to close out the game. I think they did just enough, and let that build as we go into the 6th game of the season and the 7th and so on and so forth, because this is a team that last year, maybe that 4-2 goal right after Dickinson scores, they're like, oh man. And then they, the body language changes and the energy changes. And then 4-2 becomes 4-3. And then you start, really clenching your butt, and 4-3 becomes 4-4. And then whoops, there goes the 2 points. And now we only get 1 point because then they blow it in the overtime or whatever. Like, to be able to, have that 4-2 goal scored, but be like, all right, let's just keep playing within our structure, within our system. And then slowly you shut the door on them.
Yeah. Look, I'm not trying to crap on a great win and a great night. And it was all those things. Yeah, there's no doubt about it. I just hope that, again, with raised expectations, I don't want Luke Richardson to be patting these guys on the back for a perfect game. It was not a 60-minute effort. It simply wasn't. And they need to tighten it up. I'm confident they can. I'm confident they will. But it's just, look, we're not here to wave pom-poms. We're here to tell you what we saw. And I didn't love 30% of this game. Now, the 70% that I loved, I really freaking loved, because they looked great. They were flying around. They were dominating as they should. I love 70% of the game. I just, the end of it, I just was kind of like, didn't love that, but fine. They walk away with a win. Cool. Hopefully a lesson learned here. It was a super fun night, super positive night. And I also I think the in-game stuff today was a different level. I don't know if it's just for the home opener, but the video presentations were great. They had a band in the first intermission. I missed DJ Oreo because I had to leave after the second, unfortunately. But just, they brought in a new, and I think it seems like they're going to do this every game, the celebrity blows the goal horn thing.
That'd be fun if they do that.
They had, if you missed it, and how could you? They had a Blackhawk colored arch, and on the arch, each side had goal horns and goal lights, and then CM Punk came out with Tommy Hawk and pulled the rope, broke it, and ceremoniously blew the goal horn before the game. It was cool. It's a new feature. It's a new thing. I really like the atmosphere tonight. Was really rowdy for a home opener. That's how it should be.
Should be fun on Saturday too. A Saturday night,
in
the barn will be fun. But to your point about the way the third period kind of worked out, Blackhawks outshot the Sharks 27-22 overall.
Right.
At 5-on-5, the Sharks outshot the Blackhawks 18-15. The Blackhawks had 12 shots on the power play tonight.
Damn.
So, that it's a little bit, but somebody earlier in the chat, I think it was Paul or up in the chat, says about the third period. This is a team that's probably is learning how to close out a game. This is a team that couldn't close out games last year. You have a lot of new faces. So, this is, as we've seen all season, we've seen progression from game to game. So now, hey, maybe if they're up 2 goals against Buffalo in the third period, instead of just playing back on your heels and hoping Mrazek bails you out, you get that killer instinct and you score that 5th goal, and then you can kind of be like, all right, this game's over. Let's put it to bed.
Yeah, I spoke with Alex Vlasic before the game about that, and how they're learning these lessons of playing with leads and how to not play with them, and then also how to learn from that and realize how you do play with the lead. And I think tonight was another learning opportunity for them to figure out what can and cannot work when you're playing with a lead. And I think they're, for tonight, they did what they needed to come out with a win. And I think that's a positive step for a team that like you said, last year playing with the lead, it was few and far between that they did that. And even then, I think Ben Pope brought it up to Luke Richardson. He's just this felt like one of the more like in control wins since Richardson's been head coach, where it never really felt like the Sharks were really controlling all that much of the game to where that they were going to be a threat to come back. And this Blackhawks group really hasn't had many wins where you're like, yep, this is a game that they should win. Then they go out and actually do it. I think that's a good thing to experience. And, the group that they brought in this offseason is a veteran heavy group. Couple guys in there that have played in the Stanley Cup Finals, have won some cups, and have been in situations where they've closed out a lot of leads. So I think that is something that, as the chemistry starts to gel together with the team, as everyone starts getting more and more familiar with each other, and the more opportunities that they have to play with leads, the more it'll be easy to kind of click into that playing with a lead mode and knowing what to do, rather than having it feel like a new experience.
Yeah, they're not used to it. That's true. I mean, it's not something they've had to work on had much practice doing, because they've been trailing most of the games they played over the last 2.5 years. So, yeah, we asked before you jumped on, Mario, like, do the Blackhawks have a good power play? ? It's kind of starting to feel that way.
Yeah, I mean, you got Bedard and Tavo really clicking both at 5-on-5 and on the power play. Getting those two guys who, think the game similarly, getting them clicking together is going to be dangerous on the man advantage. You have Seth Jones, who is getting more and more comfortable with the green light of shooting the puck, rather than just deferring to, I got to set up a dart for a one-timer, or, cycling the puck around. Like, he's taking more initiative to shoot the puck himself. Yeah. And you got, Foligno and Bertuzzi, who are guys that can play those power play roles around the net and, be there for rebounds and redirect pucks. I mean, that's how they both scored their goals tonight, was, redirections and tip-ins right at the net front. And, those guys have been really successful getting those rebound chances and finally being able to get two that go in from within that, like, 5 to 10 foot radius around the net. That's really good for their confidence, for the confidence on the power play. And then, when that unit is clicking, then you can kind of spread out the talent to the second unit, and you got guys like Kurashev and Hall able to play on that second unit. You don't have to load up the top power play with only your best options. Like, you have some more options that can go to the second unit.
Comment here from Benjamin Ubben, and I could overhear people at the game talking about this too. Benjamin says, I don't like the power play. They shouldn't be passing the puck for a minute 40, looking for that perfect shot to miss. So I will say this, like, they had a lot of 5-on-3 time today, and traditionally in hockey, on a 5-on-3, you are looking for that one perfect shot, because you've got the time to move it. You've got the space to stretch. You're trying to get defensemen going back and forth and then catching them going one way or the other. So on a 5-on-3, you are looking for more of that. Let's get that perfect opportunity to shoot. So that's just something to keep in mind as you're sort of, observing the Hawks power play. But 2 power play goals in this game. Would you say 5 over?
5 in the last 3 games. They had 3.
Yeah, like it's working.
Years, so.
The power play is working. So, but I think on a 5-on-3, that's definitely just something to kind of keep in mind, that most teams are not just throwing the puck at the net on a 5-on-3. They know with such an advantage, eventually someone's going to be out of place, and you're going to get that perfect scoring chance.
Yeah, lanes open up more when you make guys move at 5-on-3 so it may be like, oh, you're setting up just one chance, but sometimes on a 5-on-3, that one chance is basically an unchallenged shot right at a goalie who's probably out of position or has to make a miraculous save to make a stop. So I agree. I am not a fan of the pass for the entire power play time and get one shot on goal. But I think the difference between them doing that last year and this year is that they actually have talented NHL players that can make those kinds of passes. It's no longer, guys that shouldn't be on power plays on 30 other NHL teams trying to set that up. It's guys that, are seasoned power play players.
All right, before we get to Who's Your Hawk, any nuggets or tidbits you want to share with us from postgame?
Yeah, like I said in our Slack chat, there's about 40 people in the locker room after tonight's game. But I was talking to Phil Thompson, like it makes sense because it's a Bears off week. It's the home opener. Like it's Chicago Media Central tonight. So it was a jam-packed locker room. Lots of logo trampling. So that was not good. But
Oh God.
yeah, it's what are you gonna do?
Emma in there.
We kept her out. We kept Emma out of the locker room just for those purposes.
Yeah, it wasn't,
Emma,
wasn't
our
her this
social
time.
media coordinator, doing a great job.
Yeah,
as
well, I
always.
can't wait for Saturday's morning skate when about 8% of what was there this morning will be there.
Yeah, no, it'll. I think someone was just like, oh, "There's a lot of people in here," and or Tavo, he was just like, "It's a lot of people," and Ben Pope was like, "Don't worry, it'll be a lot less on Saturday."
I'm sure Tavo loved that as much as he loved the red carpet ceremony. He had a nice urinal conversation with Paul Sullivan. When Paul Sullivan shows up, you know it's a big night.
Sure.
So there you go.
Yeah.
All right, Greg, it's time to reveal the Who's Your Hawk winner.
Yes, Who's Your Hawk? We had not the highest scoring night combined, but Connor Bedard, Jay's pick, 8 points, most on the evening.
Still kidding, Mike.
That's not the that's you,
Yeah.
for whatever reason you didn't get
That's-
updated. Your total.
Okay.
Is
I'll-
that
yeah.
true? How wait,
Uh,
Greg? Did I surpass you last game?
No. That's not the right.
Okay.
I think what happened when in the spreadsheet I had you with Bedard and Jay with Jones. So and then I had to switch them. So that was my bad.
Damn it, Greg.
But the actual standings, the correct standings, I have 29.5. Mario, you're catching. You're at 26.5, and Jay's at 23.
All
So
right,
you're getting
see?
there. You're getting there.
I get first pick again for Saturday, Bedard.
Yeah, the order's been the same the whole season. We have not changed the order
Yeah.
of the picks, but yeah, nice job, Jay.
Thank
Connor
you.
Bedard
Thank you.
finally won you a night after you've had him 3 of the first 5 games.
Hey, man, at some point it's got to work. And we want to thank our buddy Aaron at AG Design on Instagram at AG Design 103. He's a 3D printer dude. Get some stuff from our buddy Aaron. He's
I
a
should get
Homewood
a-
Flossmoor High School student
Yes.
trying to make some money on the side, so help him out.
Great
Good
job,
kid.
Aaron. And I should get a little
And
credit
he'll fix your lawnmower, too.
for the fact that I'm first in Who's Your Hawk.
With his
and I'm
3D
only-
printer.
Yeah, he'll print you out a new lawnmower. I should get a little credit that I'm 5 games in. I'm first in Who's Your Hawk, and I've only had Connor Bedard once.
That's, hey, you know what?
Thank you,
You're
Tavo
grinding
Teravainen.
away.
Thank you, Tavo
Yeah.
Teravainen, for your 16-point game the other night.
I was gonna say you had Tavo when he had like 20 points in one game.
Yeah, but everybody had huge numbers that night. I just
that
had the
was
most.
crazy. Hey, and let's not undersell it. I mean, Tavo gets the second biggest pop of the night after Bedard. Arguably, Foligno got a big one too. He has made such a massive difference, especially on the power play. And that Foligno goal was just like, I mean, it moved. That was
I needed a cigarette after that.
that
goal.
was just beautiful. Like, I have not seen a goal like that scored by the Hawks in a long time. Where it was like, dink, dong, dink. Every pass was right on the money. That was just beautiful.
Foligno just had to stand there with a stick on the ice and get rewarded with a goal. Easiest goal he's ever going to score.
Yeah, and more of those are coming his way this year. And, man, how happy is he that he's back on the first line? He's like, this is great.
3 goals in 5. He's got 2 more goals on the season. He's got triple the amount of goals Connor McDavid has scored so far this year. Who would have thought that?
Exactly.
Yeah. I mean, he's been clicking. I'm sure he's happy that Ilya Mikheyev didn't really do anything in that first game. And, we saw this last season with Foligno and Bedard. Like, they oddly worked well together, and now you got Tavo Teravainen up there. Like, it's a trio that's really working. So that's I don't know where this team's start would be if they didn't get Tavo in the offseason. So it's a big signing. We all knew it was going to have a big impact, but early returns are already through the roof.
7 points in 5 games with the Hawks this year. Great start for Tavo. Glad he's back. All right, Mario, drive
Trophy
safe.
winner this year.
That's right. Remember that Washington only goes east. Don't go the wrong way. Be careful. And we'll talk to you on Saturday.
Sure. I'll figure it out.
All right, Mario. Thanks, man. That's Mario Tirabassi live from the United Center. Before we go, let's do one more like spike. We got a lot of people watching. Need some more likes. Do us a favor. Hit that like button for us. We'd really, really appreciate that. Do us that favor. Yes.
Hitting the like button.
Yeah.
Shout out to everybody who said hello to us today.
Hell yeah.
The red carpet during the game.
Met a guy named Jay. That was easy to remember.
Yeah. Somebody came up and said hello and then brought his son over to show. Yeah. He showed us on his phone that he's like, "Are you the guys from the podcast? I follow you."
I follow you. Showed us his phone.
Awesome. So
thanks, dude.
We saw our friend Jennifer and her son.
Yes.
All the way from Cincinnati, I believe. So
I love that story. She's like, I forgot I had tickets for this game, so picked up my son from school and we just went, and that was it. They didn't tell him why they were going, which is awesome.
But this was definitely the most people that have said hello to us at a game since this started. So that's means a lot. So if you see us at a game or at a practice, say hello. Don't be like 3 days later, say, "Hey, I saw you," but didn't say hello.
Yeah.
We're awkward. You're awkward. Let's be awkward together.
Awkward together.
Yes.
100%.
Yes. But thank you for everybody who came up and said hello. It's awesome. We're getting recognized in airports these days.
How about it?
It's crazy.
And then you guys had to sit next to the fan on the airplane.
Yes, but he was cool. He was quiet.
Yeah, he was cool.
He was good.
Good guy. Not a weirdo.
No.
All right, let's reveal the winner of the 4-star of today's game. Again, your candidates were Seth Jones, Taylor Hall, and Tyler Bertuzzi. So the winner tonight of the 4-star is, there he is, looking as dapper as possible, Tyler Bertuzzi. I know that I hate using hockey lingo, but the term beauty is such a hockey lingo word. I think that's when they're talking about a guy that's a beauty in hockey, it's Tyler Bertuzzi. That guy is just
Bertuzzi could be a gym.
If you lined up 100 guys and said which one of these people plays hockey, 100 of 100 people would pick Tyler Bertuzzi.
Yeah, he definitely looks. He fits the role. He's out of Central Casting.
Yes, it looks like he's giving like the papal blessing too in that photo. Like,
yeah, that was
peace be with you, walking down the aisle.
Yes.
Yeah.
He's about to anoint.
Or he's holding a Danish. I can't tell what's happening.
Danish. I can go for a bear claw right about now.
That sounds good. You got the whole ride home, baby. All right, we're gonna wrap things up. We're gonna be back on Saturday night after Hawks and Sabres. Don't miss the post game. We are so glad that we have some good games to celebrate with y'all this year. The vibes are high, and they hopefully will continue throughout this season. So thanks for being here with us. And I want to remind everybody to become a CHGO diehard. Why? You get access to our great written content. You get a free shirt or hat upon sign up. You get 20% off all of our events and merch, including everything at store.allcitynetwork.com. That's the DNVR, PHNX, PHLY, DLLS. Did I miss anybody? I think that's everybody. That discount,
give it a week. There'll be somebody.
Yeah, that discount applies across the company. And I'll just say something fun being announced on Monday in that regard. So, good stuff coming. Lots of good CHGO stuff coming.
Like, what are you talking about?
Yeah. Yes. So make sure you're with us. Make sure you're following us on all of our social media. You don't want to miss a damn thing as the Hawk season ramps up. All right. We are back Saturday night. Thanks to Nate and to Sarah for running the show tonight.
Yes, Nate, the new guy.
The new guy.
On board.
I'm telling you, man, new segment popping off with Nate Poppin. Yes, we do. Yeah. Yes, we're just going to give you the mic to rant about anything. Doesn't have to be about sports. It's too fun. All right, we'll talk to everybody Saturday after Hawks and Sabres on the CHGO Blackhawks Podcast.
We all silly like the mayor.